So as we start this video off, my fellow agents, I want to mention the fact that it's important to remember anytime we're talking about a weapon or piece of gear in this game, that the term best can be very subjective. And the reason I say that is because it's going to be dependent on your skill level, your gameplay, a bunch of different things. However, over the last month or so, I've received a lot of questions at the channel from new and returning players asking me what are my favorite weapons to run with. Therefore, today, my fellow agents, I'm going to share with you some must-have items that I think every person should have in their inventory. What is going on, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and to be clear, my fellow agents, this list is based on not only some of my favorite weapons in the game, but feedback you have sent the channel as well. And if I happen to miss one of the weapons you love to use, please feel free to list it in the comment section down below, as the main goal here is to help out as many people as we can and pass along as much information as possible. If you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And we are having a giveaway for a PlayStation 5. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced December 31st of this year. Now, as we jump into this thing, I want to mention the fact that pretty much every item here is going to be in the general loot pool. I recommend hitting up Countdown, farming there, because that is the most efficient way to farm in the game, and anything that you cannot find there, I will let you know exactly what you need to do to try to get that weapon. Now, starting with exotics, we're going to begin with Lady Death. Now, I know everyone right now is on the hunt for the Ouroboros. However, in the meantime, you need to have this thing. It's an absolute monster. The reason for that is because of its talent Breathe Free. When moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 stacks of sprinting, up to 32 stacks total. Each round fired consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 75%, and not only that, kills grant 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. Next, my fellow agents, we have the Capacitor Assault Rifle. Now, for those of you that have never picked up this weapon before, it is a guaranteed drop by completing certain challenges in the summit. Otherwise, you can farm for it anywhere. The Assault Rifle is the targeted loot. Now, this has the talent Capacitance. Shooting enemies builds stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage. After 5 seconds, stacks decay 1 per second. And at the very bottom, for each skill tier, you're going to gain an additional 7.5% weapon damage, which makes this an absolutely amazing AR to use, especially in hybrid builds. That now takes us to what has easily become my favorite assault rifle in the game, that is St. Elmo's Engine. And the reason this is so effective is not only because of its talent, where shooting an enemy with this weapon will give you 1 stack. At 100 stacks, the next magazine will be filled with shock ammo, but when you look at the mods, you've got that 20% crit hit damage, 30 extra rounds, 20% weapon handling, and 20% crit hit chance as well. Those percentages alone can have a huge impact on your build, which is once again why I strongly recommend getting that thing a priority. Now, that is going to take us to my favorite weapon in the game. It is the Scorpio Shotgun. This is something you see me use in pretty much every video I put out. And many of you out there may relate to this, but you find a certain weapon in the game and that is just your go-to weapon. This is that weapon for me. It has the talent Septic Shock. And for those of you out there who are trying to get used to run and gun builds, having this weapon as your primary or secondary will definitely help you out. It is amazing for crowd control. Again, top of the list, recommend you pick this thing up. Now, that is going to take us to a weapon I do not use as often as I should, but it is definitely a must-have, and that is the Pestilence. And once again, this is a weapon that is amazing for crowd control, solo, or in a group. You definitely want to get this. It has the talent Plague of the Outcast, where hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. Now, as we finish off the category of exotic weapons, I'm going to be showing you the Mantis on screen. There are a few honorable mentions. We have the Eagle Bearer, the Ouroboros, the Nemesis. There are a ton of different weapons out there. Again, my fellow agents, what you consider the best is going to be completely and totally dependent on your game style. And as I said earlier, any other weapon that you love to use that I did not mention, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. Now, that is going to take us to some other things that are definite must-haves for your inventory. And one thing you want to have, regardless of how you like to run in this game, is a rifle that you love to use. For me, it is the classic M1A, and I ideally when I'm farming, what I try to do is get a weapon to drop with the attributes that I like. That way I can re-roll that talent to anything I want, and that also holds true for the next weapon I'm highlighting, which is the ACS-12 automatic shotgun. Now these are great weapons to have if you have a striker build, a heartbreaker build. It is going to help you gain those stacks incredibly fast. And for those of you out there who are on the hunt for the rock and roll shotgun, that is a PvP exclusive. However, you can get it from name caches as well. The other thing I strongly recommend, and once again this is for new and returning players, is you want to have a non-exotic assault rifle that you love. You can see here I'm showing you a FAMAS. However, you can use any one you want, and ideally it's going to be an AR that has the attributes that you're looking for. That way you can re-roll the talent to anything you want to accommodate any build you're putting together. Next, my fellow agents, we have the test subject, another great assault rifle, and coincidentally this is on sale this week as of my recording this video at the Countdown vendor. You definitely want to get this thing. It has the talent perfectly in sync, where hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a non-shield skill or damaging an enemy with the skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds, and damage increases are doubled while both buffs are active at the same time. Now, as most of you know, there is another weapon in the game that has that perfectly in sync talent. It is the Harmony rifle. Absolutely love that thing for skill builds. Now it is a PvP exclusive. However, you can also get it from named caches. That now takes us to my favorite non-exotic SMG in the game. That is the Dark Winter. Absolutely love this thing. This is a secondary that I use when I'm running with the Scorpio, and it has the talent Perfect Killer. Now this also happens to be on sale this week, and you can find it at the South Dark Zone vendor. Now keep in mind that does mean you're going to need Dark Zone resources to pick it up. Some of you may not play in the Dark Zone, and once again, any of these DZ exclusives you can get from name caches as well. Last but not least today, my fellow agents, for those of you that love marksman rifle builds, I recommend picking up the White Death. You can farm for this anywhere the marksman rifle is the targeted loot. I recommend hitting up Countdown. It has that middle core attribute of 137% headshot damage, and ideally, as you heard me say previously, you're going to find one that has all of the attributes you're looking for. Remember, with any named item, that middle attribute is going to be locked in. That is going to do it for this video, my fellow agents, and if you happen to have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Now, between now and the end of the year, I am going to be bringing you a series of videos. I will be highlighting some of my favorite builds in the game. We're going to be talking about some great, gear and weapon combinations, things you definitely want to put together. And this is going to range for people who are brand new to the game, as well as those of you out there who have been a day one player, but you've stepped away from the game for a while. You're just jumping back into season 5. Anything I can do to help you, please let me know in the comments section. And if you happen to want to see any types of videos, feel free to let me know what they are in the comments section down below. I will do my best to get to them as quickly as possible. On that note, I want to thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. I sincerely appreciate the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.